And you also mentioned earlier on you get to American Baptist Theological Seminary and you meet James Bevel. What influence did he have?
Well, I met James Bevel. James Bevel, a young man who had been born in Itta Bena, Mississippi, in a very large family, 12 or 13 children. And at an early age, his family moved to Cleveland, where he grew up. And later, as a young man, he go off to the Navy. And then he decided when he came back, that he would go to school. And I met him at American Baptist. He was a very sort of flashy talker. He just talked all the time and make speeches, especially when he was in the shower. You can hear him from one end of the hall to just preaching and talking as loud. And he was saying, you get an education, you become a minister, and you go and get a church. He had a great deal of influence because he was very talkative. I was very quiet. I didn't talk that much. I talked in the classroom. I responded when someone called on me. But I was not someone always just talking. And Bevel would just talk, and he encouraged people to talk, and he would tease you. And later, when the nonviolent workshops started in Nashville, I started attending the nonviolent workshops. And I invited Bevel to come, and Bevel got involved. So I think we influenced each other during a period of time.
And what about professors? John Lewis Powell, you mentioned.
Oh, John Lewis Powell. He's a wonderful teacher. He was, later he became Oprah Winfrey pastor in Nashville. He would run around the classroom,
Really?
making things so real and so simple. He wanted us all to be good, to do our best as young ministers, as leaders in the community. He was very daring, he was very courageous, and he didn't hold back.
Now, I know that you had listened to Martin Luther King broadcast from Montgomery during the bus boycott, and that was an influence. But Powell is also talking about the social gospel. Explain the social gospel to us.
Well, Dr. Reverend John Lewis Powell, he was saying in effect, using the same type of words and phrases that Dr. King would use, and a social religious theologian, I guess a social theologian, a guy by the name of Walter Rauschenbusch, who was pastor of a church and very involved during Hell Kitchen in New York City. And Paul would say, as Dr. King would say, you just cannot be concerned about the over yonder. You got to be concerned about the down here and now. You can just be concerned about the pearly gates and the streets of and doors of heaven. You got to be concerned about the streets of Nashville and the door of Wordsworth. We had two department stores, two large department stores, one called Kane Sloan and one called Harvest. And they were saying that we got to be concerned about Harvest and Kane Sloan and not just over yonder. You just cannot be concerned about the soul of a person, but also about the body. You must minister to the whole person and not just the spiritual side and the hereafter, but you got to be concerned and be involved in the here and now. And John Lewis Powell made it very plain and very clear to all of us.